May 10th, 2023. You guessed it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Most of you's not going to. Let's talk today about numbers. We're hearing a lot of numbers about the immigrants or illegals trying to come across the border down there. We're hearing anywhere from 500,000 up to a million's coming, right? That they're caravanning and on their way to come across. My question is, why is it, if the numbers are something that we want to agree with, that yeah, them numbers are right, or it's more than that, right? Think back to you had people possibly dying, you had people getting sick. Those numbers were right. But think back further when the pandemic started, those numbers ain't right. Those numbers ain't right. They're inflating the numbers. They're inflating the numbers. Go back to Vietnam. They used to do a thing called body count. People would say that they inflated the numbers on the body counts to make them look good, that they was doing this and doing that. Well, why is it, if the numbers are going along with what we want to believe in, then the numbers are right, or they're higher than those numbers that they're telling us, right? Why is that? I don't understand that. Do I think that there's a lot of people coming across the border every day? Yes, I do. There's probably thousands, tens of thousands of them coming across. But a million people coming to the border at once, you would think you would be seeing that. That's a lot of people, right? And another thing, yes, they're coming here illegal, but like I said yesterday, what's the solution to it? Put a fence up, right? Make them come through a checkpoint, right? Okay. You got people that's against that. Oh, we need open borders. You got our own president, he wants open borders, but he's all for fencing in a school, an elementary school or a high school, putting a big fence around it. I told you, our little high school, elementary through high school down here has a fence around it. People are perfectly fine with it. Why? Because it's safety for the children, right? But you tell them we need to put a fence up around the border, they'll go off on you. Some of them will, like, no, we don't need to have fence on the border. What's the difference? What is the difference between fencing the border off and fencing a school off? I do not believe that every one of these people that's coming across the border are hardcore gang members that are coming over here to rape, rob, and pillage. I do not believe that at all. Is there a percentage of them that are there, are criminals? Yes. But what's your definition of a criminal, right? Is someone coming across the border that has a DUI in Mexico? Are you counting them as a criminal? Or are you only counting the ones who do serious crimes, murder, rape, robberies, drug dealing, and things like that? Is that what you're calling a criminal? Because at the end of the day, if you're just going by numbers, well, let's say 10% of them, had a previous DUI. Okay, they're criminal, right? See, it's always comes down to the numbers. But yet nobody can sit here and tell us, how do you fix it? They want to scare you and make you think that when these people come across the border, that all-out warfare is going to happen. It's just going to be like the old West days on the old cowboy movies, or something like that. Now, yes, they're coming across illegal. I don't like that. But how do you fix it? How do you fix it? Even if you put a fence up, you could put a 100-foot fence up all the way across the border. Guess what? They're still going to get across. They are still going to get across somehow. So how do you fix it? Nobody can answer that. I don't have an answer to it. I don't. Because at the end of the day, there's so many of them coming across. Some of them are going to slip through. It's just the way it is. And what are we letting in here? Are we allowing, terrorists in? Some of them probably are. But do I believe that 80-90% of them are criminals, like hardcore Mexican gang members? No, I don't. They're trying to come here for a better life. Okay? There's a right way and a wrong way to do that, right? Why can they not come in and naturalize? Like I said yesterday, people came through Ellis Island. You got to remember this kind of stuff. I don't know if y'all hear that. We've been having a lot of black helicopters flying over again here. Not sure what they're doing. Girlfriend said they was flying over the baseball fields yesterday at the little kids' baseball game. So who knows what that is, right? It's kind of strange that it's picking up right now when everybody's screaming invasion's happening. But can somebody please give me their thoughts on what we should do with the border? What should we do? How do we fix this problem? Yes, I can sit here all day and tell you there's a war coming, there's this coming, but at the end of the day, I don't know how to fix it. Do you? Because even if you put a fence up and you You got people standing every 10 foot of that fence, you know, guarding it. Believe it or not, people will still get through the fence. They'll go under it, they'll go around it or something. So how do we fix this? I don't know. Like I said, do I think an all-out war is going to break out? No. Is it going to put a strain on our system here? Yes, it is. Because where are these people going to live? You know, I don't know. This one is confusing me bad, because if you listen to a lot of the channels on here, some people think that everyone's coming across as a hardcore criminal. You know, they're coming across, and as soon as they step foot in America, it's all-out warfare, right? But you also got to understand, some of them are not. I would venture to say that not a lot of them are these hardcore criminals. But in my town here, I told you that, you know, tater fields, we seen them during the picking season and the farming season, and then we didn't see them, and then the salt mill started hiring them. We have a local salt mill down here that I had a buddy that drove a truck, and he sent me a picture. This is back in the 1990s. He sent me a picture that showed a sign right where you cross the border into Texas in one of them towns that said the name of the salt mill in our area was hiring. So, I mean, I can remember in the mid-90s, probably about 98, it was kind of late 90s, ain't it? They raided this salt mill, you know. They were notorious for hiring illegals. That's one way to put a stop to it is, you know, they come over here, how are they going to work if people don't hire them, right? If you don't hire an illegal, then they don't get a job. Well, then people say, well, they'll get on government assistance. How can they get on government assistance if they're not a U.S. citizen? That's for U.S. citizens. How is that possible? You know, the government allows it, right? It's the way the system's set up. It's just wrong. I mean, it's wrong. You could have somebody, an American citizen, in dire need of something, and they go down there and, you know, let's just use Medicaid for an example. I know a person that didn't qualify for Medicaid because they had zero income. They had no income. They were out of work. You know, they couldn't find work, and they had zero income, and they denied them because they didn't have an income. But yet they'll supposedly give this to illegals, you know. What's the government do to these companies that hire illegals? What happens there? Do they get fined? You know, who knows, right? If they don't have a place to work and they're illegal, why would they come over here, right? Guys, it's a huge mess. There's no way to fix this overnight. There's not. And I'm waiting on somebody to tell me, how do we fix this problem with them coming across the border? Because, you know, something I want to allude to here. You know, they're saying crime's picking up, that drugs are coming across the border. You know, fentanyl is coming across the border. If you're my age or older, you remember the 80s, right? You remember the news every night out in Compton, out in California, you know, gang wars, right? They were saying it was over drugs, crack rock, right? Drugs have always got in this country. You got to understand, the government allows drugs to come into the country. They do. It's not a simple example of this, okay? Let's say you're like here in Alabama. Let's say you get caught with a joint, you know, marijuana. All right, you get a ticket, right? Because if it's less than a certain amount, you get a ticket. But guess what? When you go to court, which you have to go to court, it's one of them tickets. You're going to be sentenced to color code, which is drug court, where you have to go to meetings and you have to go pee in a cup, right? It's a money racket. Instead of just paying your ticket, they're going to get you for about 6 months to a year paying money. You know, if they wanted to stamp out the drugs, they could, but they don't want to. You know, it's a big business. It's a business for the police. Honestly, that's what it is. You know, they passed the open carry law here in Alabama, and now they're wanting, the sheriffs and stuff are trying to band together to get more money doing other stuff like raising the cost of your tickets or doing this or that, right? It's a money racket. So until someone can tell me exactly how to fix this problem, why are you on here screaming that a war's breaking out, right? Because I understand they're coming here illegal. Do they need to? No, there's right ways to come here. You know, it would be like us, I say this all the time, it'd be like us going to another country and trying to do the same thing. People would frown upon that, wouldn't they? Like, oh, you shouldn't do that. But it's okay down there. So what's going to happen here? How do you fix the problem? Where are all these? If there is over 1 million people coming, which I think if there was 1 million people, we would see it, but we're not. Where are they going? Sanctuary cities? Okay. Where are they working? And another thing, these people take jobs that honestly most Americans would refuse to do. You don't want to admit it. You may say I'm crazy, but you're not seeing a lot of Americans out in the farm fields picking stuff anymore, are you? No, you're not. So I mean, guys, there's got to be some way to fix it, but nobody can come up with how to fix it. They just want to get on here and scream and shout about it and scare you to death, but none of them want to tell you how to fix it. Are they illegal? Yes, they're breaking the law by coming across the border illegally. But how do you fix it? That's the question. How do you fix this? I don't know. Some of y'all may know. I would love to hear from y'all your thoughts on how to fix it. One thing I would look at is don't hire them, right? Don't give them a job. They're illegal. Don't hire them. And then they don't have an income here. Then some people are going to say, well, if you do that, then they're going to turn, to being criminals. See, there's no way out of this. Nobody can come up with the correct answer to how to fix this. Let me know your thoughts on this. Comment on it. I would love to hear from y'all. The guy or the person who commented yesterday that lives up, in Texas, how would you fix it? Stay safe, keep your head on a swivel, and be aware of your surroundings at all times. Protect yourself and your family at all times. Guys, welcome to the collapse of America. Are y'all enjoying the show? It's a slow collapse, ain't it? It's not a blockbuster movie. It's kind of like one of them French movies that takes forever to watch, right? Let me know your thoughts on this. If you're still watching, subscribe. I know a lot of you's not. And once again, my shorts, I know some of you are unsubscribing because my shorts are about dogs and cats. But that's how we're getting subscribers now. We're not getting subscribers off these videos. We're trying to grow the channel. And a lot of y'all understand that, I may get 30 subscribers off a short, but within 2 days, I'm left with 5 of them. So we're just trying to grow the channel. We're going to keep putting these videos up. The reason we don't do a lot of videos on how-to is anytime we post a how-to video, we get the same comments. Thanks for telling us what we already knew. So stay safe, get prepped up. If you're still watching, hit the subscribe and come up with a solution. We need a solution in America how to fix this problem. Stay safe, get prepped.